How you doing? I'm Big D. Welcome to my show. I wanted to say I do appreciate you stopping in, spending a few minutes of your day with me. Also, I want to say thank you for leaving comments. I'm new, starting to build a channel, and I need each and every one of you. If you don't mind, please subscribe, especially if this is something that you like to hear. Some of my research on a daily basis might not be every day, but I try to do at least a few a week. Also, I just want to give a little information about myself. Some people have been asking, why do I wear this hat? Well, it's a little cold in this studio. I don't heat it that well. I'm only in here a few days a week for maybe a couple of hours, running, doing a little research, maybe riding my bike, editing, that kind of thing. So I don't really see much in the way of heating it. I'm in the middle of New York State, and New York State gets cold. So we're going to get right into it. Now I want you to listen very carefully, because the Federal Reserve just made a move that's going to accelerate the destruction of your dollar faster than anything that you've seen in your lifetime. While the media is lying to us, you're probably wondering, how do I get the information? Well, it's just research. You can get some information from your federal government that they don't believe you're gonna look into, but for some reason they put it out there for you to look into it. The Treasury, the Fed. You might not know this, but the Federal Reserve is not federal, and it's not a reserve. They have nothing. They make money out of thin air. You really should look into that. Maybe I should just do a show on just that. If you're interested, leave a comment in the comment section. Now, while the media is lying to us, and for whatever reason, it's probably because the deep state wants them to lie. They don't want you to be aware and run out and buy what you need to buy, like silver, gold, things like that are going to save you. Now, I'm telling you this because I do care. Otherwise, why am I on here? Now, silver hit $122 only a few short weeks ago. Then it pulled back. We've seen it go back to, I think it was $69, somewhere around there, right? Who knows exactly? You could look at so many different areas of where you get your information from of how much silver is right now, or gold, etc. And they're all different. And every financial talking head on TV is screaming that you missed it. That's it. It's over. That you should stay away. They're lying to you. They're talking about, what I'm talking about is silver and gold. Mainly silver. Now, this is not a crash of what happened with silver. We're going to lean heavily on the talk of silver today, and what I'm doing is I'm giving you a gift. And what they are doing is giving you a gift. They knocked silver down to the point where it might be affordable again. This might be the last chance you have to jump on board before silver expands to areas that you've never even considered. They said it's not going to go back to the $120, $130. It might be there for a short time, but I believe it's going to be a much higher level than that. Please stick around and listen to what I have to say. The Federal Reserve is about to unleash another round of money printing disguised as policy. And if you're sitting on cash right now, especially a lot of it, You're volunteering to be poor. This is how I look at it. I care about your money. And right now, your money is dying. Again, stop what you're doing and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. And definitely hit the like button. Leave me a comment and I'll leave a comment for you. I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing this because I believe in God and I believe in helping others. I believe it in God, and to a point where if I don't do something like this to help others, it really hurts. And that's why I am moving forward with everything I can. Helping your friends, helping people you don't even know. Because helping doesn't cost you a penny. Now, let's get back to it. The media is absolutely hysterical right now about silver. They're calling it a bubble that popped. They're saying it was crazy that silver even went to $120 plus. Let me tell you what's actually crazy. What's crazy is that it took this many years to get to that level. Silver should have been there 20, 30 years ago. It should have been there probably 40 years ago. The United States came off the gold standard in 1971. That's where the suppression began, shortly after. But the fact that is, it finally got there, and they're calling this a bubble. It's not. This is a correction. It's the market finally waking up to reality. And reality is that your government has been printing money like it's going out of style. Because it's going out of style, dollar is toilet paper. It's backed by nothing. It's worth nothing. And every single day you hold it, you lose purchasing power, and you're taking a chance that you're going to end up with the toilet paper. And you're not going to be able to even buy ramen noodles. Unless it's $50 to buy one pack of ramen noodles. Now, silver went to 121 because that's what happens when people realize the emperor has no clothes. The dollar is naked, and now silver is sitting below $80. I believe it closed out at $78 and change yesterday. And the same media that told you it was a bubble is telling you to stay away. Don't buy it. You're going to lose your money. Don't run out and buy it because I'm saying it. Please see my disclaimer in the description below. But if you've watched multiple of my videos, you're seeing what's going on and what they've used to squash and smash down the price of silver. They can do it very easily. That day has ended. Do you see what they are doing? They're keeping you poor. They're keeping you in cash while they accumulate the hard assets like silver and gold. Meanwhile, I'm telling you that silver below $80 is a gift. It is an unbelievable gift. It might have been because of the deep state, but I believe God has something to do with that. $80 is a gift. Probably $200 is a gift. But right now, I know money is hard. And believe me. But it's been over 120. That means you're getting right now a 33% discount from a recent high. That's not a crash. That's a sale. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand markets. Now let's talk a little bit about gold. I know I talked about gold. in the very beginning, and silver's my main goal. But I got to give you something about gold. Gold is sitting at 5,000. 5,000 is the new 4,000. 4,000 was the 3,000. You know what? You know how that works down. So, do you see the pattern? The milestone keeps moving up. Silver always follows gold. It's a little slower on the uptake, but it follows gold. We got to, what, the low 50 to 1 ratio, gold to silver ratio, for years. It was sitting right around 80 to 90 to 1. People say it's over. I say it's not. Again, just take what I'm giving you and use that to go find what you need to see before you go and purchase some. But don't take too long. Every time we hit a new level, people say it's too expensive. Then it becomes the floor. Then we move higher. This is what happens in the inflationary environment. This is what happens when government prints money with no consequences. The price of real assets goes up. Not because the assets are worth more, but because the currency is worth less. Every single dollar you hold is a melting ice cube. You are watching your wealth evaporate in real time and you're doing nothing about it. What's in your bank is not worth anything. If you have something like silver and gold in your safe, that is doing something for yourself and your family's future. Gold at $5,000 is not expensive. Gold at $5,000 is the new normal. Silver below $80 is screaming at you to pay attention. Now let's contrast this with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in a bear market, a real bear market, right? Bitcoin hit $126,000, then it dropped 50%. It went below $60,000 and bounced back to $70,000. And the media is calling that a rally. See how they play the words and how they play the manipulating factors? That's not a rally. That's a dead cat bounce. That's what happened in bear markets. The biggest moves are up. They give you hope. They make you think that the worst is over. Then they pull the rug out from under you again. Bitcoin had its worst week since 2022. Down 15% that week. People are relieved because it bounced back 10% in one day. That's insane. That's emotional decision making. That's how you lose money. And here's the thing. A lot of people who own Bitcoin also own silver. When Bitcoin crashed 50%, they got margin calls. They had to sell something that they sold, so they sold silver because silver was more liquid. That's why silver dropped 20% in one day, not because anything was wrong with the silver, but leveraged speculators had to dump it in to cover their crypto losses. I don't know if they had to, but this is what it's showing in the markets. Now that's forced selling. And whenever you have forced selling, you get terrible prices. The people who sold silver yesterday at the bottom, they get destroyed. They turn a temporary paper loss into a permanent realized loss. That's why I'm telling you, never use margins on precious metals. Never. You buy physical. You hold it. You don't sell it. You don't get cute. You don't try to trade it. You own it. Because on days like yesterday, last week, a couple days of last week, the people who own physical silver don't sell. They don't have to. They just wait. And now silver is already recovering. Meanwhile, the people who run margin are out of the game permanently. Let me tell you something about MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy has been buying Bitcoin for 5 years. This average cost is $76,000 per Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trading at $70,000 right now. They're underwater. They're losing money on a 5-year investment. Imagine if you had bought gold instead, right? Imagine if you bought the gold instead. Imagine if you had bought silver instead. Remember, it was only June, it was $30 an ounce for silver. They would have been sitting on massive gains. Instead, they're sitting on losses. And the stock rate was down 80% from its peak. It bounced 25% in one day, and people are celebrating. But even after that 25% bounce, it's still down 75%. That's a bear market. That's a disaster. And that's what happens when you chase speculation instead of buying real money. Now let's talk about the Federal Reserve. The media is telling you that the new chair, Kevin Walsh, is an inflationary hawk. They're telling you he's going to come in and tighten policy. He's going to hike rates. He's going to end quantitative easing. That is a complete lie. If he was going to do that, he wouldn't have the job. Trump didn't nominate him to fight inflation. Trump nominated him to make the economy look better before the midterms. Now, I'm a Trump supporter, but I think there's something behind this. Something that even what I have to say and what I believe, I mean, it doesn't mean it's true, but I'm just giving you something that I feel is possible. Now, Walsh has his marching orders, and I believe Trump knows exactly what he's going to do. And Walsh is going to do exactly what Trump asks him to do when he's finally in. I think he's going to print money. They're already printing money. Now he's going to keep rates low. I believe he's going to drop points quite a bit, quite fast as well. He's going to do whatever it takes to juice the economy so the voters feel good. They're already talking about mailing out $2,000 tariff rebate checks. Could it be even more? Could it be even higher? Does that sound like fighting inflation to you? That's stimulus. That's helicopter money. That's more printing. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. All of this inflation is bipartisan. Trump blames Biden. Biden blames Trump. But they both spent like drunken sailors. Trump was a massive deficit spender in his first term. Most of the inflation we saw in his first year and a half under Biden was because of the money Trump printed. But do we have to look back on what was going on. Trump had to make sure America was healthy. There was a lot of spending because of that. If you take that out of the equation, I believe it was much lower than Biden's spending. It turns out, at least my research, towards Biden's end, he was spending $1 trillion every 3 to 4 months. And it depends on where you get your information from, but I try to give you something that I find in multiple areas. And I try to use the government's information as much as I can along with my own research. And then I make a decision on what to tell you. But then Biden took over and spent even more. Now Trump is back and he's spending more than Biden did. Now we see the savings that they found. They got rid of many departments, especially the ones that were very, very fraudulent. And I guess if you look into it yourself, you would see that what he did, my opinion, again, and I am a Trump supporter, I believe he did very well in the very beginning. And for some reason, we're not hearing much. And I think that's because everything that they tell us it's a lie. The media goes out and says, well, that's not true. This is it, and blah, blah, blah. So I don't believe anything anymore when it comes to what's going on. I guess until I see it myself, local, how it's playing out, that kind of thing. I guess that's how I figure it. And I'm not sure if you have an idea or opinion, leave it in the comment section. Now, Biden, he approved bigger budgets for every single program. So why would anyone think this is going to stop with Trump? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it looks like there's still spending going on. I don't think it's going to stop. The spending is permanent. I don't think our deficit is going to be deflated in any time soon, and it's going to be hard to see it ever, because we don't have enough money to pay just what we have to pay in interest, barely. Now, the printing is permanent, the inflation is permanent, and that means the decline of the dollar is permanent. It is pretty much worthless right now. You look at I think it's on their Treasury website. They actually give you a graph of what the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar is, and it's over just almost 97% crashed. I think it's like 3.7%. At least that's their graph, and if they're showing it, it's probably a lot worse than that. Now, this is claiming that we have the greatest economy. This is what Trump says. That we have the greatest economy in the history of the world. He's taking credit for it, which means voters are going to hold him responsible when things go bad. And they will go bad. I just don't see it in any other way. But again, there's always something behind what Trump is actually doing and how he can't be 100% transparent. It's just not possible. Otherwise, we might want to go and stop him. But is he looking at us when he's doing what he's doing? I believe he does. I believe he's led by God. Now, you don't win elections in America by lying to voters, though. So, is it a lie? Is it something that we're going to be on the better side if this happens? Those are the things to be aware of. Now, you win elections by acknowledging the economy is weak and then lying about it, how you're going to fix it. Again, I voted for Trump, but am I having second thoughts? No, because of what could have possibly been a much worse scenario. My opinion, you could have a different opinion, but the Democrats understand this, and they're going to win the midterms? I don't think so. Finally, there's some things that are stepping up that you're going to have ID if the Democrats in the Democratic states don't find a ways around it. So some of the things that I have seen in my own state, which is New York, I know there was definitely problems. They didn't even ask me for ID. I had my ID out. They said, no, we don't need that. Okay, well, maybe there's something that they could see. Maybe there's a picture of me. I don't know. But I was seeing that some people were asked, other people were not. Okay, on to the rest of the story. Now, it doesn't matter that the problems are bipartisan. It doesn't matter that both parties caused this. What matters is perception and also taking care of yourself. That's what this video is about. And the perception is that who's ever in power is responsible. The Fed has no choice but to keep printing. The government has no choice but to keep spending. The debt is too big. The interest payments are too high. They can't stop. If they stop printing, the whole system collapses. So they're going to print. They're going to keep printing. They're going to print until the dollar is worthless, which in my opinion, we're already there. And when that happens, The only thing that will hold value are real assets. Gold, silver, real estate, commodities, things that you can touch, things that can't be printed. That's why silver below $80 is not expensive. That's why gold at $5,000 is not expensive, because the alternative is holding cash. And the cash is guaranteed to lose value. Let me break down the math for you, because the numbers don't lie. Silver went from $20 to $121. That's 600% move. Gold went from roughly $1,500, I think it was, when I started watching, to $5,000 plus. That's 150% move plus. Silver moves faster because it was more undervalued. But both metals are telling you the same story. The dollar is dying. Now silver is at $80, say roughly. That's 34% below the recent high. Gold is at 5,000, which is 10% below its recent high. The correction is silver was sharper because of the forced liquidation I mentioned earlier. That was a correction, but that correction is over. The weak hands are out. The leverage speculators are gone. What's left is real demand, and real demand is coming from Asia. Every Monday for the past month, we've seen strength in gold and silver coming out of the Asian markets. That's where the real buying is. Central banks in Asia, and they're buying gold. Wealthy individuals in Asia are buying silver. They understand what's happening. They understand that the dollar is being debased. But understand that Western currencies are in a race to the bottom, and they're protecting themselves. You need to do the same. You need to buy physical silver below the $80. Hopefully it'll drop a little bit more. I would like to see it about 50. But if it does drop to 50, I'm not worried. I see the demand. I see the deficit. And there's nothing stopping what's going to happen with silver. Buying gold at 5,000, that's a must if you can afford it. And you need to do it over the weekend. So you're positioned for a Monday rally. A possible Monday rally. Now people keep talking about the Basel III, the new regulation, where the banks have to hold 80% of what they're telling everybody that they have when they sell you a piece of paper silver. It's crazy, but I've been told Basel III is supposed to be out so many times, I just gave up. Now let's talk about mining stocks. Mining stocks are a leverage play on precious metals. When gold and silver go up, mining stocks go up faster. But they also go down fast. Right now, mining stocks are off their highs. They're down because investors worried about a big drop in gold and silver. Well, guess what? The big drop already happened. That's my opinion. Silver dropped 20%, gold dropped 10%. The correction is over. Mining stocks are starting to move. They were up 5.5% to 6% in one day. That's just the beginning. I believe the mining stocks are going to make new highs before gold and silver make new highs. Why? Because the fear of correction is gone. The correction already happened. Investors are no longer worried about the downside risk. They're starting to focus on upside potential, and the upside potential is mining stocks is enormous. If you want exposure to mining stocks, check out the separate managed accounts at the Euro Pacific Asset Management, or check out Gold Fund. The symbol is EPGIX. There are professional managed vehicles that give you exposure to the best mining stocks in the sector. But here's the key. Don't use margins. Don't use leverage. Buy with cash that you can afford to hold long term, because the next leg up in silver and gold is going to be sustainable. It's going to be steady. It's not going to be parabolic blow off top like we saw a few weeks ago. It's going to be a grind higher, and that grind is going to be to reward patient investors who own physical metal and quality mining stocks. The longer you wait to get rid of your dollar, the less they're going to be worth. Every day you hold cash, you lose purchasing power. The milestone keeps moving up. Gold at 2,000 seemed expensive. Then it went to 3,000, then 4,000, then 5,000. What's next? 5,000 is going to be the floor, I think. The next milestone, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. Silver is going to follow the same path. It always does. $80 is going to seem cheap when silver is back to 120. 120 is going to seem cheap when it goes to 150. That is not speculative. This is the math. This is what happens in an inflationary environment combines with how about craziness? Countries around the world are dumping dollars. They're buying gold. They're buying silver. They're buying real assets. And you need to do the same. The window is closing. The correction is over. The weak hands are out. The forced sellers are gone. The people who got scared are gone. They see it bounce back, drops back, goes back up, drops back. Silver and gold have always been volatile. You gotta be watching, and watching it means understanding. This is what it does. What's left is real demand. The real demand is going to push silver higher. This weekend is probably your last chance. Maybe not. It might go a few more weeks and then bounce back. But I do believe right around $80 is our floor. Asian markets are going to open Monday. I can't wait to see what they are. Central banks are going to buy more. Wealthy individuals are going to buy, and the price is going to move higher. Now, if you wait until Monday, it is possible that, it could be out of reach. If you wait until next week, you're going to pay even more, though. It's a high probability. The train leaving the station. You can either get on board now, or you can watch it leave without you. Here's the reality. You're either a winner or you're a loser. Winners buy assets. Losers hold cash. Winners understand inflation. Losers believe the government. Winners take action. Losers wait for permission. Which one are you? The Federal Reserve is going to keep printing money. The government is going to keep spending. The dollar is going to keep losing value. Gold is going to keep going up. Silver is going to keep going up. This is not a prediction. This is what's happened over the years. The only reason 1980 and 2011 did what they did is because of the manipulation of the market. Now, this is the mathematical certainty. The only question is whether you're going to position yourself to profit from it, or whether you're going to sit on the sidelines and watch your wealth evaporate. You might see thousands of dollars in the bank, but the actual purchasing power of each one of those dollar bills are getting less. I believe I've given you what to do. Now you just got to do your own due diligence and figure it out. If I'm coming from the right side and I'm telling you information that could lead you to the path that's going to help you and your family. I have nothing to sell you. I only have a kind heart and wanting to help. want you to know who's paying attention. I want to know. I want to know who's paying attention and watching this and taking it to heart, and leave a comment in the comment section. I do appreciate if you would do that and leave me a comment and hit the like button. The market doesn't wait for you to be ready. The market rewards action and punishes hesitation. What is going to be, but are you going to buy silver this weekend, or are you going to regret it when it starts climbing to the $120 range, $150 range, and then $80 looks like it might have been where you could have stepped in. Me on the way looking at gold, I'm glad I bought gold when it was very, very low. And I can't afford that now. But if you can, majority will look at the silver. Because silver, there's not a lot of silver out there. It comes out of the ground, what they say is 7-1. I don't believe that at all. The amounts of gold that are removed from the ground yearly, and the amounts of silver that's removed from the ground yearly. Silver is a byproduct that 70% of the mines, whether they're mining copper, gold, lead, doesn't matter what they're mining, it's a byproduct. They find it while mining some of the other types of metals. Copper's becoming a very difficult metal to come up with as well. There's going to be a deficit with that as well. Maybe that was one of the drivers for stopping the penny in the United States, along with how expensive it was. It was over 3 cents per penny, from what I understand. Silver, the government is going to put a floor, say $100. I don't know what that floor is going to be, but they're going to put a floor on it. So the miners are always going to have some, it's not going to drop to the point where it's up and down, up and down. It's going to be at least at one level, so the miners are going to be paid. And that's going to give them a little incentive to find more. The easy silver's gone. They have to dig deeper. They have to use different types of equipment to find the silver. Every year, they say there's at least 500 million ounces in a deficit of what is used per year. It's not like there's companies out there recycling from the electronics, because everything electronic takes silver. Thank you for stopping in. Again, I really, truly appreciate you. Try to have a great rest of your day. God bless. And take care of yourself.